Here's something that surprises a lot of drivers. A green light does not always mean you can go, especially if you're turning left. Every day across Florida, drivers approach an intersection, they see a green light, and they assume they have permission to turn, but that assumption is one of the leading causes of intersection crashes. And many drivers don't realize they misunderstood the rule until after the accident happens. I'm Philip Snyder, a partner at Florida Keys Injury, and today we're talking about something that causes a huge number of crashes, especially at busy intersections: left turns on a green light. In fact, left turn accidents make up a significant portion of the cases we see, and the reason is simple. Many drivers don't actually understand how the right-of-way rules work. A lot of drivers believe this: if the light is green, I can turn left, but that is not how the law actually works. There are actually two different types of green lights when turning left, and they mean very different things. Let's break this down clearly. When you see a green arrow, you have the right of way. Traffic coming towards you is stopped. You can safely make your left turn. But when you see a green ball, that solid green light, the rule is completely different. On a green ball, you must yield to oncoming traffic. The driver traveling straight through the intersection has the right of way, not the driver turning left. And if a crash occurs while you're turning left on a green ball, the driver making that turn will usually be found at fault for failing to yield. So why do these accidents happen so frequently? Because intersections are busy and drivers feel pressure to move. Here's a common scenario. You're waiting to turn left. The light turns green. Cars start inching up behind you and honking. You start creeping forward in the intersection. Another driver across from you is also waiting to turn, and suddenly your vehicles block each other's view of the traffic coming towards you. Now you're trying to judge whether it's safe to turn without actually being able to see clearly, and that's when drivers make decisions based on assumptions instead of visibility. And that's when these huge crashes happen. When two vehicles are facing each other and both are trying to turn left, a dangerous situation can develop. As each driver pulls forward, the vehicle blocks each other's line of sight, and that means neither driver can clearly see the oncoming traffic behind the other car, and this is what we call a blind left turn. The driver turning left believes the road is clear, but a vehicle traveling straight suddenly appears from behind the other car, and boom. By the time the turning driver sees it, there is no time to stop because the driver going straight already has the right of way. It's moving through the intersection at full speed. Another factor that contributes to these accidents is pressure from the drivers behind you. When the light turns green, drivers often expect that first car in line to go. But when you're turning left on a green ball, you cannot go until the road is cleared. Drivers behind you may not understand that your view is blocked. They may honk, "Get out of the way." They may try to rush you, but their view of the intersection is completely different than yours. The safest decision is always to wait until you can clearly see oncoming traffic. If you're waiting to turn left on a green light, remember these rules. First, if the signal is a green arrow, you have the right of way. Second, if the signal is a green ball, you must yield to oncoming traffic. The driver traveling straight has the right of way, not the driver turning left. And third, never ever turn unless you have a clear and unobstructed view of the road ahead. If another vehicle blocks your line of sight, wait, even if the drivers behind you are impatient. A few extra seconds can prevent a serious accident. Intersection crashes can cause severe injuries because vehicles often collide at very high rates of speed and at dangerous angles, and many of these crashes could be prevented if drivers understood one simple rule: a green light does not automatically give you the right of way when turning left. Understanding the difference between a green arrow and a green ball can make a huge difference in keeping people safe. Left turns are one of the most common causes of intersection crashes in Florida, and many of those accidents happen because drivers misunderstand the rules about green lights and the right of way. Remember, on a green arrow, you have the right of way. On a green ball, you must yield to oncoming traffic. The driver traveling straight has the right of way, not the driver turning left. I'm Philip Snyder, a partner at Florida Keys Injury. And understanding these rules is one of the best ways to protect yourself and everyone else on the road. Drive carefully, stay aware, and never turn unless you know the roadway is clear.